Good afternoon, YouTube, and I suppose BookTube. I don't know if people in BookTube watch me, but I thought I'd make a video. It is 13 minutes after 2 here in West Michigan. It is September the 22nd. It is officially the first day of autumn. It's a Thursday. Down in the lower level. The lower level is it's an open basement. You can probably see there's windows all around here, and there's a back door that goes out into the backyard. Over there is my wildflower garden, which is coming to an end because summer has ended, spring, summer, and now we're going into autumn season. Today I got 56 degrees, but it's kind of sunny, partly sunny. So I'm going to make this video. I'm going to stop rambling because I have a lot of used books that I got to show before we go into the new week and a new month. September's coming to an end. So I'm just going to stop the rambling. I'm not going to tell you what I've been reading. I'm not going to show you my diary. I'm just going to show you the used books I've gotten at thrift stores, in the mail, and at the Book Nook. I did get in the mail the new field notes. I ordered this a couple of days ago. I collect these. I don't write in them. As I mentioned in past videos, our son Josiah, many years ago, he started buying field notes. He used to write in his. But I started collecting them because I just collect them. So every time there's a new edition, I just order them. And I tell my son Josiah that when I die, he can have my collection for my inheritance. Anyway, I got those today. Okay, the books. First, I'll start this morning. My wife left for an overnighter with some girlfriends, and she'll be gone until tomorrow afternoon. And this morning I went down to the Book Nook to pick up some books that I had set aside because I knew I was going to make this video and I wanted to show all the used books and not have any left over. So I went down to the Book Nook and I picked up some books that I had set aside to pick up tomorrow. Friday is when I actually volunteer at the Book Nook from 10 to 1. But I went there and just picked up the books that I wanted to show in a video today. I picked up this book at the Book Nook. This is Cathedral. It's historical fiction by Ben Hopkins. It's an Europa. As you all know, I collect Europas. I have a couple of those Europas here that I got at the Book Nook too. This is an Europa, The Nun. Usually Europas are translations. Not always, but this is translated from the Italian by Anthony Sugger. This is by Simonetta Angelino Hornby. I can't pronounce the name. But winner of the 2011 Italian Pen Award for Best Novel. I collect Europas. I have a whole probably 30, 40 of them. Maybe I'm exaggerating. I know I have over at least 20. So, and I also picked this one up yesterday at, I went hiking at Van Rolte County Park, and when I was coming home, I stopped at Gateway Thrift Store, and I found this Europa, The Pathless Sky, by Chantala Sen. She's from India, but this is not a translation. It says, I think, that she was born in India, moved to U.S. at the age of 2. She received a Master of Fine Arts from Hunter College. Her short stories have been published in the Colorado Review, the New England Review, and Junked, among others. She lives in Austin, Texas. She was awarded the Tennessee Williams Scholarship to attend Sawi Writers Conference? No, that's not it. I can't remember. My mind went blank. Anyway, so I collect these Europa editions. And this is an Europa I got this morning. Cathedral by Ben Hopkins. Then I picked this book up the Book Nook this morning, The Corporation That Changed the World, How the East Indian Company Shaped the Modern Multinational by Nick Robbins. I found out when I got home I already had this, so I'll take it back to the Book Nook tomorrow. I already paid $1.50 for it. And then I picked this up at the Book Nook, which I didn't have this morning, Rome, A History of Seven Sackings by Matthew Kneale. Yeah, it goes through the seven sackings, which were the Gauls, the Goths, more Goths, Normans, Spanish and Lutherans, chapter 6, French, and then the Nazis, chapter 7. I collect books on ancient Rome, ancient history. Not that many, but I got this for $2. And then I picked this up from my Walt Whitman collection at the Book Nook, The Song of Myself, the first and final editions of The Great American Poem by Walt Whitman. At the Book Nook, The Practice of Kabbalah, Meditation, and Judaism by Stephen A. Fisdel. I collect books on Kabbalism if they're cheap. And this is on the meditation and Judaism. I got this at the Book Nook. These are all what library withdrawals. The public library here in Holland is purging its library. Most of the books that they're purging are young adult and children's books, but there are some reference where some books that, history or literary or things like this. This is the Memory of Mankind, the Story of Library Since the Dawn of History by Heinrich Tolzmann. So yeah, it's a library withdrawal, but I like reading the history of libraries, so I grabbed it. Okay, I got this book at... Where did I find this book? I can't remember. Oh, I found my wife and I had to go to Zeeland, which is another town north of us, for sunflower seed and cracked corn for the birds. We went to Goodwill and I found this, Susan Hardwicke, The Waiting Sands and the Devil on Lammas Night. This is Gothic horror. I collect her writings. I've been collecting for the last couple of years. And then, what else here? These are from the Book Nook. These are Du Maurier's Julius. She's a British novelist. I think she's a British novelist. And this is her novel, The Rule of Britannia by Du Maurier. Also, I picked up her Rebecca, which she's very famous for, her novel, Du Maurier. And then I also picked up a biography on Delphine du Maurier by Margaret Forrester, The Secret Life of the Renowned Storyteller. So now I have other novels by du Maurier somewhere in this library, but I picked up these at the Book Nook recently, my du Maurier collection. And then, I picked this up at the Goodwill in Zeeland, The Crime of Ogleg Oberlina by Andrea Munchkin. This is translated out of French by Jeffrey Stacken. I have two other novels by him. Once Upon the River of Love, Dreams of My Russian Summers. I didn't know he had a third novel, so I picked this up. This is almost brand new at the Goodwill. I got it for 90 cents. Then I picked this up at the Goodwill in Zeeland, The Red Queen by Margaret Drabble. I have this in paperback. This is a hardback. I just read a novel of hers just recently. Let's see if it's listed here. Anyway, I think it was called The Radiant Way. That's what, no, I have that one. No, it was called, oh, I can't remember what it was called. But anyway, The Middle Ground, something like that. But this is a novel. I collect her novels, and I have this in paperback. Now I have a hardback. I found this at some thrift store. This is Mary Gordon. It's her first novel, Final Payments. I collect her. I didn't have this in my Mary Gordon collection. She's written a lot of novels, and this is one I didn't have. This is one of her early ones. This one came out in, oh, I don't know if it even says it. 1978. I found this at a Goodwill in Northside. The Winshaw Legacy, What a Carve Up by Jonathan Cole. He's a British writer, and I collect him, and I was really pleased to find this. It's more like a comic detective farce, and I was really pleased to find this. It's a library withdrawal, but it's I was really pleased to find it for my Jonathan Cole collection. I got this in the mail, this Remarkable Diaries. I got this from thriftstore.com. Remarkable Diaries, the world's greatest diaries, journals, notebooks, and letters. It's more like a table book, but I just couldn't pass it up since I'm a diary writer, and so I don't think it was that much, maybe a couple of dollars, but I picked that up. And then I picked up Seasons of the Wind, Inside the World of Spring Migration. I got this at a Salvation Army thrift store. This is by Ken Kaufman. I have another book of his he's a nature writer. He's an authority on birds. He's written a lot of books on birds, and I have his book, The King Bird Highway, in our nature collection. So this is Seasons of the Wind, Inside the World of Spring Migration of Birds. This is an Emile Zola book that came into the Book Nook, Lady's Delight. This is translated out of French by Reuben Buss. I collect Zola. As you know, I've been rereading Zola's novel, Nana. And these are a couple of books on James Thurber of the New Yorker I got from the Book Nook. Thurber Country, collection of pieces about males and females, mostly of our own species, by James Thurber. He's a humorist. He wrote for the New Yorker. He did cartoons, which are very famous. The White Deer, drawings by the author James Thurber. These are all from my New Yorker James Thurber collection. The Owl in the Attic and Other Perplexities by James Thurber. See, he wrote, you can see they're very famous, his cartoons, his way how he draws. And so I grabbed him from my James Thurber collection. This is Ron Daw's Best of Ron Daw. I collect him. He has a whole series of children's books, but these are his stories from Over to You, Someone Like You, Kiss Kiss, and Switch Bitch. The Best of Ron Dahl. I picked this up at Gateway Thrift Store yesterday. Reading in the Dark by Seamus Deane. He's an Irish writer. This is a New York Times notable book. Winner of the Guardian Fiction Prize. Booker Prize finalist. He's mainly known for poetry, but this is a novel he wrote, Reading in the Dark. This is by Alison Laurie. I have her novel, Foreign Affairs. And this is another novel she wrote, Imaginary Friends. So now I have 2 novels by her. I picked this up at Gateway, Searching for a Memory, The Brain, the Mind, and the Past by Daniel Strackner. This is on cognitive science. I'm kind of interested about memory since my memory is getting kind of hard as I get older. But I don't know, it was only like, I think it was 80 cents. I picked this up today at Action House, thrift store on the way home from the Book Nook today. The Art of Living and Other Stories by John Gardner. I have this already in hardback, but I didn't know that, but now I have a paperback. Harold Bloom, this is Literary Studies by Harold Bloom. I collect all his books. Where Shall Wisdom Be Found? I already have this too, but I didn't know that. So I got 2 now. I got this at Action House, Christ and the Common Life, Political Theology in the Case of Democracy by Luke Bretherton. It looked brand new. I'm interested in politics from a Christian perspective. This guy is Professor of Theological Ethics and Senior Fellow at the Kenyon Institute for Ethics at Duke University. It looked very interesting, and it's brand new, and it only cost me, 90 cents. Can't go wrong. I got this at the Book Nook, The Glorious Adventure. This was published in 1920s. It's a travel memoir of an adventurer who wants to travel how Homer traveled in the Odyssey, and it's about him going to Greece and going to all these places mentioned in Homer's Odyssey. The Glorious Adventure by Richard Halberton. I got this at the Humane Society thrift store a couple of weeks ago. Turtle Feet, The Making of a Buddhist Monk. I think I showed this book by Necca something. I can't pronounce his name. So I got that. I think I showed that book. I got this at the Book Nook, The Constant Circle, H.L. Munchkin and His Friends by Sarah Melville. I collect books on H.L. Munchkin. I showed you this book. This is Tom Wolfe, Hooking Up. These are essays. I had a paperback, but now, and this came in. This is a hardback edition. I collect all his writings. Tom Wolfe, he passed away recently. This is a biography on Frederick Nietzsche by Curtis Cate. I have other biographies by Curtis Cate in my library. He did one on Andre Melrex, but this is his biography. This is from a library withdrawal from our library here in town. Frederick Nietzsche, A Life by Curtis Cate. So, yeah, I have a huge Nietzsche collection. This I got at the Book Nook. Dope, The Real History of the Mexican Drug Trade by Benjamin T. Smith. I collect books on drugs, the drug trade, drugs, marijuana, LSD, opium, cocaine. But this looked interesting about the history of the Mexican drug trade, the dope. Then lastly, I got this book at the Book Nook. Monday, Coffee Land, The One Man's Dark Empire and the Making of Our Favorite Drug by Augustine Sigbuck. I'm a coffee drinker, and it looked like a very interesting story about coffee and how it became the American drink and how it all became just the history of coffee. And it looked really well read. I mean, well written, very thought-provoking. So I grabbed it up. Coffee Land, and it got all kinds of great reviews over the internet. It got a lot of buzz. So you get coffee buzz. Anyway, so I picked that up. So those are the used books I got recently. I'm sure this video is going to come to an end pretty soon because this camera all of a sudden can shut down. So I just want to show you the used books so I can put these away. And like I said, this is a Thursday afternoon. I'm doing okay. I'm reading, having a great reading experiences lately. Especially that Victor Surge book, The Last Things, has been really a great reading experience. And yeah, so I will sign off because this thing's going to shut down any minute. And one thing else, when I show a book, always read reviews. Always, if possible, check it at the library. Just don't buy it. Go online, read Goodreads, read reviews, look at Amazon. Don't just buy a book or get a book just because I show it in this video. Do some research, dig, read. So that's what I'm saying. So I'll sign off, and until next time, bye.